October 31st, 2025, Friday. Reflection by Reverend Father Clifford Atta Anim, Luke 14, 1-6. Jesus healing the man with dropsy. In today's Gospel, Jesus is invited to dine at the house of a leading Pharisee. Since it was the Sabbath, all the food had been prepared the previous day, as cooking was considered work and thus forbidden. During the meal, Jesus noticed a man suffering from dropsy, a painful swelling of the body, often caused by liver or kidney disease, and not uncommon in Palestine at the time. Moved by compassion, Jesus asked the scholars of the law and the Pharisees, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath or not?" Luke 14:3. When they refused to answer, he touched the man, healed him, and sent him on his way. To the Pharisees, this act was another scandalous violation of Sabbath law. Jesus had already healed several people on the Sabbath, 7 miracles in all, and each one provoked outrage among the religious leaders. Yet, Jesus was not breaking the law, he was restoring its true spirit. To expose their hypocrisy, he asked a piercing question. "If your son or your ox falls into a pit on the Sabbath day, will you not immediately pull him out?" Luke 14:5. The answer was obvious. Compassion cannot wait for a more convenient time. Faced with this truth, his critics had no reply. Jesus' action reveals that the Sabbath was never meant to be a burden, but a gift, a day that restores both body and soul. The Pharisees had turned it into a system of rigid rules, while Jesus reminded them that the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Mark 2:27. It is a day for love, mercy, and renewal in God's presence. The true purposes of the Sabbath. God intended the Sabbath to be a day of worship to praise and thank God for his goodness, providence, and mercy. Exodus 20:8-11. A day of instruction to teach God's word to one's children and strengthen faith within the family. Deuteronomy 6:6-7. A day of rest to pause from ordinary labor and restore our bodies and minds. Genesis 2:2-3. A day of communion to strengthen bonds with family, friends, and neighbors through fellowship. A day of charity to reach out to the poor, the sick, and the lonely in acts of compassion. Isaiah 58:6-7. Life messages sanctify. Sunday, the Lord's Day. As Christians, we fulfill the spirit of the Sabbath by participating in the Eucharist, the new covenant meal of thanksgiving and healing. Sunday should be a day centered on God, in prayer, worship, and time spent with family. Parents are called to send their children to catechism classes and to nurture faith at home throughout the week. Practice mercy as the highest form of worship. Jesus teaches that doing good on the Lord's Day is not only lawful, but essential. Visiting the sick, comforting the troubled, supporting the poor, and praying for those in need are powerful ways to honor God's command. Every act of charity transforms Sunday from mere rest into true holiness. In short, Jesus reminds us that holiness is not measured by rule-keeping alone, but by love in action. When our worship overflows into compassion, the Lord's Day becomes not just a duty, but a delight. God bless you.